again, this chart is going to give us 55 different fractions turned into decimals. So what this box would be for is 1/2, because it's in the 1 row, it's in the 2 column, that's 1/2. What would somebody with a hand, what would this box be for? 5/6. So we're going to take 5/6, we're going to turn that into a decimal. If I looked over here, what would this box be for?
3/10.
3/10. We'll take that, we'll turn it into a decimal. Does anybody have a question about knowing which box is doing what fraction? Okay, so the top row, we should be in shape already, because today we just took a quiz where we memorized those top 10. So if we memorize the top 10, you're dealing from a position of strength already. Can you tell me any of those top 10 that you know?
0.5.
0.5. So 1/2 is 0.5, and we're off to the races.
0.3 with a line over it.
0.3 with a line over it is the 1/30. Do you know another one? Just going through in order. Is
0.25.
okay. 1/4 is 0.25, and we don't have to go straight across. I'll take any answer. If you get one and you're like, I don't know the next one, just give me any fraction. You know any of them? 1/8 is 0.125. That's true. You know another one you know?
6 is 1/16 with the line over the 6.
It is. 1/6 is 1/6 with a line over the 6.
We go for 7, and then maybe go for 0.142857.
That's true. So we're going to go 1,4,2,8,5,7, and then say one more thing about that one. One more thing we need.
Oh, it's all repeated.
Yeah, so we want to draw
A line.
a line that covers all of it. Do you have any more you know? 11, okay. 0.09, what's the bar on top of it? 1 or both? Both. That's true. Zap. There's some left, you know? 9, okay.
0.1.
Okay, say one more thing about that one. A line on it, agreed.
5 is 0.2.
Yeah, the 1/5 is 0.2. Do you know this one? Q?
0.1.
0.1. Does anybody need help or tricks reminded from yesterday? We did help or tricks on this, but we didn't record, I don't think. Help or tricks on the top of any of that?
For 7.
Well, you don't need help. You gave me that answer.
Yeah.
If you need help, I'd give it. I'd remind you. But if we remember, we're good. Does anybody need a reminder of how to do any of those? You've got to know those 10. If you know those 10, what we're going to now do is build bound. What column do you think is the most important column for your grade to be able to do?
5.
Not 5.
7.
Not 7. Gordon?
1.
No.
7.
No. 10 is in second place. What?
Because that's more.
It has the most. Okay, the column that has the most stuff is the 11ths. So that's going to be your most important column for your grade. I'm not saying you're going to use that the most, but I'm saying over here you could pick up 10 points if you can do this column. You could pick up 9 points if you could do this column. This is probably the easiest column to do, so let's get somebody to do a column. One thing you might want to do when we're doing these, because sometimes people forget this, is to put a decimal for every box. It's sort of boring to do it this way, but it's a nice way to make sure you don't forget to put the decimal point. Sometimes people go so caught up with the numbers that the decimal point itself goes missing, and that is a little bit rough. So I'm just going to do that. If you want to join me while I'm doing that, feel free. But there's 45 decimal points, I think, something in that neighborhood is what I just drew for you. I cut off the columns whenever it would hit an improper zone. So like, I didn't do anything with this, because what fraction would this make us think of?
Improper.
1.5.
Yeah, what? Yeah, 1.5, because it would be what improper fraction? 3 over 2. And I don't want to get into improper stuff, so I'm just going to worry about the proper ones are the only things we're doing. Do you have a question?
Write it down right.
What's that?
We're supposed to write it down.
Yeah, you want to fill this in so you have a study sheet, absolutely, yeah.
Right, what?
Everything we put, fill it in, so you have a study sheet of right answers.
Oh, I just have it because you said someone needed 10.
Okay, yeah, we'll have somebody do the tens in a second. Yeah, I'm doing this on the board. You have your own paper. We want to fill this all in, so you have a sheet of answers that you can study with. So Quentin, you ready to do the tens? Go ahead.
0.2,
Yeah?
0.3,
Yeah.
0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9.
Yeah. If you just take the top number and count down by using that number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, boom, that's easy money. We could have done that any other day too, like 5/10ths, just using the tenths place, doing 0.5 for that. That's not really new to our life, it's just new to do it on a chart. But the tenths column just counts by ones. Anybody have confidence that you could try to take on another column? Yeah.
On the 8 column,
Okay?
250.
Okay, 250 I'm gonna go with for a second, but use a pencil, not a pen. If you have a pen, don't fill that in yet, but keep talking to me, I'm okay with it.
23, 75.
Okay,
500.
okay,
625.
okay,
750.
okay.
875.
Yeah, he just kept adding 125 all his way through that list, and that's all well and good. Why did I tell people with a pen not to write what I was writing and tell people with a pencil they could? What can people with a pencil do to make this a little bit better? Stick with you, it was your idea.
Well, you can erase, like, you can make the better answers.
Yeah, how can I make better answers?
Like erasing the
Erase all the zeros. So having those zeros there for a second maybe helped us to add the 125s, but in the long run, best answer, we don't want to go with any of those zeros. 0.5 is better than 0.500, for example, but yeah, we're gonna remove those zeros. That was good. People don't usually hit that one up first, because there's other easier columns to do. That's a nice column to do, because there's 7 of them. Nice long column, but those were harder to work down. Anybody have another column that you can work down? We'll try to get somebody that didn't go yet, but if we run out of people, we'll come back to doubles.
maybe 3.
Okay, what can you do with this?
0.6.
0.6? Yeah, just make sure you remember
The line.
the line. So just count by threes. It's a nice little short, easy column. It's only worth 2 points, but at least it was easy. We'll take that. Somebody else have a column you can work down?
6.
6, I'm gonna save 6. We're not gonna be able to add down the 6. I'm gonna put that on hold. That'll be confusing to people, so I'm gonna hold that one.
4 then?
Okay, let's do 2 fours, okay?
0.5,
0.5 instead of 50. 50 we could have as a temporary, but 5 is best.
0.75.
0.75. This I think about, a synonym for fourths is quarters. Think about money. 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. That's a quick way too to do the quarters. Somebody else have a column you can scroll down? Yeah. 5s, okay. 4.
6,
Yeah, that's a good one for all, any former cheerleaders out there. 2, 4, 6, 8, you know, whatever, and then cheers build from there. Who we appreciate. You, yay for you. But yeah, quick, 2, 4, 6, 8, down to 5s. There's 2 more easy columns left.
11,
Okay, 11s is a nice one, yeah.
0.18.
18.
Flying over it. 0.27 flying over it.
Yep,
0.36 flying over it.
yep,
0.45 flying over it.
Yep.
0.54 flying over it.
yep,
0.63 flying over it.
Yep.
0.73 flying over it.
Yep.
And 0.81 flying over it.
yep.
And point, no, wait, 90 was flying over it.
Okay. I like to do all my lines at one time sometimes because it's easy to forget the lines. If you forget the lines, it makes it wrong, so be careful about your lines. So here's a conversation. He hesitated. I wasn't sure what you would do with that. Some people might think you're right. Some people might think you're wrong. About 90. So like over here, we were erasing some zeros on some of these earlier ones. He hesitated there. I'm supposing he's thinking about whether he should erase that 0 or not. He decided not. Anybody willing to jump in with an opinion on whether he did a good thing or a bad thing by leaving that 0 on there?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna I'd say it by just.
Did you talk yourself out of it?
I think that's bad because it would just repeat.
Okay, so he's disagreeing with himself maybe already. Is there anybody that wants to agree with him? That he should have left the
Oh,
zero?
wait, never mind, actually, I should keep it.
You agree with yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, so he agrees with himself. Does anybody want to either agree or disagree with him? Because we have a little bit of a crisis there about what we should do. I'm not committing yet either way, I'll tell you. But anybody have a thought?
I think you need it because like it has to go to keep it in order.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Our rule for zeros is we can remove zeros when they're at the end. This zero isn't at the end. It kind of looks like it sort of is, but it isn't. Why is this zero not actually at the end?
Because it'll repeat itself.
It will repeat itself, that's true. What's true about the end of this one, really? Any of the repeating ones, what's true about their end?
They don't have one.
They don't have one. They don't end. That's very good. So this is going to go 9, 0, 9, 0, 9, 0, 9, 0. After every 9, there's an O, but the zeros are never at the end because after every 0 needs to come another 9. Okay, so we can't remove the zeros when it's a repeat because it doesn't have an end. We're only allowed to remove zeros from the ones that end. That's a super column to do right because that had the most, as we pointed out earlier. Why are these numbers familiar to you? Where have you seen these numbers before in your early life of elementary school?
Times tables.
Times tables. This is your 9 times tables. So if you're ever asked to do like 7/11ths, you don't need to count through 9, 18, 27, 36, unless that's the way you do your times tables. If you're still doing your times tables by fingers and counting, that's still how you do them. But if you know your times tables in a quick way, as soon as I say 7/11ths, it's 7 times 9. If I just wanted the 9/11ths, just do 9 times 9. If you only wanted one of these in isolation in a homework assignment somewhere, the 11ths are just your 9s table. There's one more column that's a long one that's super easy to fill down.
9,
The 9s. We're just going to need to go
2 with the minus, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, just count by the ones again, just make sure you do the lines on everybody. And like I said earlier, I like to do my lines in one big swoop as I go, so I just don't forget to do them. Sometimes I'll even put the lines before I put the numbers under them, just to make sure that they're there. That's the easier columns. Anybody have any questions about the easier ones? Okay, we can't do this one by adding. We can't just take this one by going 16 plus 16, because this isn't really 16, because it's like 1, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. When you have numbers to add, where do you start your adding? From left to right or right to left? Right to left. So if this never ends, and we've got like 1 and then forever 6s, and we're supposed to add our way from right to left, that's like an impossible thing to do. So we're not going to do that. We're going to take a side trip. Let's think a different way on this column instead of just adding down. What fraction box is this? 2/6. We would never live with 2/6. What is 2/6 always better known as? 1/3. We already did 1/3. What was 1/3 before? 0.3 with a line. We're just going to recycle an earlier answer. What box is this?
3/6.
3/6. We would never leave 3/6 alone. What is 3/6 always better as?
5.
Yeah, because it's reducible. 3/6 is 1/2. 1/5.
Well, I also boxed the top there.
Okay.
That was.
What fraction is this?
4/6.
4/6. What's 4/6 better known as?
2/3.
2/3. We already had 2/3. Who was 2/3?
0.3.
2/3.
Oh, 0.6 the line.
6 with the line over it. The only one you need to do or memorize or divide or something is the 5/6. Can anybody either divide out 5/6 or figure out 5/6? Can anybody tell me 5/6 what it would go? Dividing bottom and the top is always going to work if you get stuck with it. It's 8-3 with a line just on the 3. So you could do that one by dividing if you're stuck. Here's another way we could do this, maybe, that makes sense. If you got multiple layers, basic math tells you 2 plus 3 makes 5. We know that. We know that 2 plus 3 makes 5. If we go in any column, box 2 plus box 3 would make box 5. Box 2 plus box 3 makes box 5. 2 plus 3 makes 5. 2 plus 3 makes 5. Basic math tells us 2 plus 3 is a way we can make 5. If we take this box 2 plus this box 3, it's like an add you could do. If we think about point and then a million 3's, adding a 5, well, the initial 3 and 5 is the 8, and then there would be just like a million more 3's. Maybe that's another way you can do that. I don't know. If that makes sense. Great. The 7s have a different trick to it that I'll share with you, but do you want me to redo the 6s at all in any way? Okay, so as you go down the columns, what happens to the numbers as we go down the columns in every case?
They get bigger.
They get bigger. They get bigger and bigger as they go. When we go to do the 7s, as we drop through, we need to get bigger and bigger as we go. But we're only going to use these numbers. 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7 are all going to follow each other in that order. The only difference in the next 5 answers I'm going to write is that we're going to get bigger as we go. I am never going to write 3, 6, or 9, or 0. I'm only going to use these 6 digits. Every one of these is going to be a long 6-digit repeat. They just need to grow as we go down the column. So if this starts with 1, this one's going to start with, just yep, 2. This one's not going to start with 3, because 3 is not a part of the game that we're going to play for the next 2 minutes. 3 is not in this pattern. Who's the next one as we grow? 4. Then this one is?
6.
No. After 4? 5 is the next biggest, and are we going to do 6? No, 6 is not part of this pattern. It's not used. 7 is used. 8 is used. 9's not used. 9 is not a part of this game. We're going to use these numbers to figure out who we need to start with so that they can get bigger as we go down. But then the pattern's going to be the same order. Question how I picked the beginners at all? Then go in the same order. Who should always follow 2? 8. Because this has established the order, and we're going to just stick with it. After 8s will always come 5s, 7s. After 7, where's it headed?
1.
Back to the beginning for the 1.
Oh, 4.
And then the 4. And we already have the 2. As soon as you have 6 digits, we're good. Same numbers, same order. We're just going to make them start with progressively bigger numbers. So somebody with a hand, talk to me after the 4. Okay?
2, 8, 5, 7, 1.
True. Somebody else with the 5, talk to me. Yep.
5, 7, 1, 4, 2, 8.
Agreed. Somebody with the 7s.
7, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5.
Agreed.
1, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4, 2.
Agreed.
Oh, I see.
Does anybody need help with understanding how we're doing these? So here's an offer for you that I think is a good one for you to take advantage of. Any homework assignment, if you're ever asked to turn a fraction into a decimal again, you can peek at your chart on any homework assignment. It's going to help you get familiar with the chart. All I would ask is that as you do it, you try to absorb them. Because is it going to be quicker to peek at your chart, or is it going to be quicker eventually to just know them? To just know them. But it's going to take a little bit of practice to get there. I get that. So any homework assignment, you're fixing a quiz, you're fixing a test, you're doing a book page, you're doing whatever. This chart, you're allowed to use this on homework to just peek at any decimals to fractions conversions. We're going to go, right now we're doing fractions turned into decimals. What do you think we'll do soon? Decimals turned into fractions. When we do that, peek at your chart. It's fine. Any homework assignment. On quizzes, no. By the time we take a quiz, that you can't pull out your cheat sheet chart in the middle of a quiz or test, okay? We've got to eventually learn these. But on homeworks, you're allowed to use this as your cheat sheet. And you'll be able to do this, you know, so just pick any fraction. that's behind me that I can't see right now?
1/2.
1/2, 0.5.
Two.
Because I'm the hardest.
What do you say?
47.
4 over 7 is 0.571428. Okay, so all I need to do on the sevenths is like figure out where am I in the pattern. So you said 4 sevenths, and I know what digits are there, and I'm thinking, don't start with 1 or 2 or 4, that starts with 5, that's the fourth biggest one, and once I got the 5 figured out, 71428. That's the rest of the digits. Like, granted, I've done this a long time and now I'm showing off because I've had more practice than you're ever gonna have. So are you gonna beat me at this? Probably not. But can you do it? Absolutely, because I've been doing this in 7th grade. We've been able to do it before, you'll be able to do it again. The key is you have to know the top row, and then it's not so bad to build down. The hardest columns to build down are in a way the sevenths, but the sevenths in a way are the most fun because they're like
Yeah.
big and it's sort of a cool pattern and you feel like you accomplished something after you did them because they're big. The sixth you have to do by basically reducing and then memorize another one. But the rest of the columns, if you can add, you can do them. The big thing you don't want to forget, and I've emphasized this a couple times already, remember the decimal points, and then here's a trick to maybe help you with the bars. The odd columns are the ones that tend to have the bars. It's not 100% true, okay, but the 3s have bars, the 7s have bars, the 9s have bars, the 11s have bars. Most of the odd columns have the bars. You just have to remember that 5 was a misfit, the 2, 4, 6, 8, and we didn't need the bars on that. But other than the 5s, and it's probably because the 5ths really are like the 10ths. 5ths and 10ths are kind of in the same family. 5s, 10s, they just kind of like go together. But 5ths, 10ths are kind of the same thing. But other than the 5 column, the odds all have bars. The 6s was also a misfit column in every way. Like we had to do the 6s by repeating other things. But here's another cool pattern. Here's 1/2. 1/2 obviously uses the numbers 1 and 2. So watch what happens if I use the numbers 1 and 2, move down 1, over 2. Move down 1, over 2. Down 1, over 2. Down 1, over 2. If I had a 12th column and I moved down 1 and over 2, that would be 6/12ths. It would be another one there. So if we want to play with numbers like that, where could I find another 1/3? What would be my movement to find more 1/3s?
6.
No, movement like 1/2s, I was down 1 over 2. How would I find more 1/3s?
Down over 3.
Down 1 over 3 for 1/3s. Down 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3. And then I run out of space, but it would be there. How would I find another 2/3s? With what kind of movement if I wanted to find another 2/3s? Squat.
Down 2 over 3.
Down 2 over 3. 2/3, move down 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. That's going to keep happening for everything. It doesn't work that great for like 4 sevenths. You know, if I wanted to find another 4 sevenths, I could try to move down 4 and over 7. The chart's not that big anymore. If we had a bigger supersized chart, it would be over there. They run in patterns like that as well, and that's just an interesting little like bonus feature.
So how do you do, like, so like 2/3?
The top tells you how to move up or down because these numbers are counting the tops. Like 1/2, 1's counting tops, 2's counting bottoms. But we're just going to move for another 1/2, down 1 over 2. You know, for 2/5, down 2 over 5, because 2/5 is 2 and 5. So if I want to find another 2/5, down 2 more, over 5 more. Those are buts. It's the same number.
Okay.
All right. Question about that little thing? Okay, so after a brief delay to redirect, here's how this could help your homework life. So new homework page, they're going to draw you a picture like this. This picture makes you think of a fraction. What fraction does this make you think of? 3/8. They are going to want you to create a decimal for 3/8. You no longer need that by dividing bottom and the top. We could peek at the chart that's over there. You could peek at the chart that's in front of your face, or maybe you already know this. What is 3/8? 0.375. You want to get to a point where you don't rely on Peeksies to know all these answers, but if Peeksies help you learn some stuff, that's great. So you look at this, what fraction does that make you think of? Just yell. 1/4. And then you either know it or you do Peaksey's and it's 0.25. Now we look at a thing like this and you think 3/5, and then Peaksey's or knowledge tells you 0.6. Okay. So it's a nice little trick. If you know them, that's the fastest way to do that. Another thing we can start to do is compare using this. Okay, how have we compared fractions usually in our past before? If I ask you to do greater less than stuff, what do you do? Common denominator, and if you're changing the bottoms, you have to change the tops. Here's another way we could do this. We now know 4/5 has an alternate identity. 4/5 in decimal world is 0.8. 3/4 in decimal world is 75. When you compare decimals, you just look at the first place. Since 8 beats 7,
Greater.
the chart strikes again. 1/8 is on the chart. 0.125. Not everything in your life is on the chart then. Okay, so 3/20ths, not on the chart. How's a way you could turn 3/20ths into a decimal?
Box the top.
We could box the top, so 3 is in, 20's out, we do the point, we do 0, and we could go at it that way. What's another way we could do that one that was a shortcut I did yesterday right in this exact part of the board?
So you can times the 20 by 5.
Yeah. We could go 20 times 5 to make the bottom 100, so top times 5 is 15. This is going to end up being, even if we divide, 0.15. How you get that, I don't care. Just get a decimal. My suggestion to you is memorizing's the quickest. Chart is part of that. This name changer machine trick is probably quicker than dividing, but I have no criticism with the dividing because the dividing will always work. You know, we get a 20, we get a 10, we throw a 0, we get the same 15. Clear that out because I made a crowd there. So who wins between 15 versus 125? 15. Because it's not about how big 125 is, it's about the places. One's tied, then when 5 beats 2, game over. So if you're doing a homework and they're doing these problems, and that's what the page tonight's going to do, use your chart, use your brain, use whatever you need to use. But tomorrow we've got a double quiz sort of day. We're going to do a quiz that covers all the material for this week, one of those once a week quizzes we always do. But part of that will be doing a chart with as much time as you want. So we start the quiz by doing the chart, and then tomorrow you can use the chart that's part of the quiz to do the rest of the quiz. So if your quiz has a problem like this, you'll get to peek at the chart you just made. The quiz has a question with greater than less than stuff. Peek at the chart you just made. So we'll come in, we'll go over the homework. I'm about to tell you what page and everything it is. But we'll go over that homework quickly. You'll do a chart that's 55-point quiz, and then there will be some other problems where that chart may potentially help you out.
The name changer machine, so when you multiply the numerator, denominator, we have to use 5, right?
For this one you would, yeah, because you're trying to get 100 on the bottom. Because we want place values on the bottom. So we could make the bottom 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000. If we can make the bottom one of those places, that's when we use the name changer. The new homework page for this is a little bit of 173. 173 is going to have an A to F. Then the main page of this page is on 176. 176, we're just going to do everything over there on 176. So 173 again was just the letters. Chalk is dying, too much chart today. Ate my chalk. 173 is A to F. 176, we're going to do everything. There's some letters there, and then there's the 1 to 25. We'll do everything on 176, just letters 173.